Number one, I committed that if I'm elected president, have an opportunity to appoint someone to the courts, I'll appoint the first black woman to the courts. It's required that they have representation now. It's long overdue.
Nothing like limiting your choices to just a black woman or just a Hispanic this or an Asian that. I mean, unbelievable. Liberal Supreme Court Justice, this is why this matters today, Stephen Breyer, just gave Joe Biden and, more importantly, the Democrats a gift with his announced retirement at the end of the term. Joe Biden will have a chance to appoint a successor. And his spokesperson, Jen Psaki, claims Joe will stand by his campaign promise to nominate a black woman. For Democrats, there could be no better choice than Kamala Harris. Not because she'd make a great justice, she wouldn't. She would be a left-wing activist. But tapping her would give Democrats a chance to rescue themselves for 2024, following Joe Biden's epic failure as president here. Joe can't win. Neither can Kamala in 2024. So with her out of the way, appointed to the Supreme Court, he can tap a potential contender through the Democrat bench, though that's a bench that is very weak. But what if, folks, what if he picked Hillary Clinton to be his vice president? Oh, boy. Then what if he picks Hillary Clinton and then decides to resign a short time later? Hillary gets the White House and then ultimately the chance to run as an incumbent. If you don't think that they're thinking about this, think again. This is not far-fetched at all. This is one potential strategy that I promise you, who's thinking about? Barack Obama, Susan Rice, and George Soros. They're the ones considering this. After all, they're the ones who's pulling the strings, right? I want to welcome in my panel now. Co-hosts of Chicks on the Right, Amy Jo Clark and Miriam Weaver. Amy Jo, Miriam, great to have you both on the program. Amy Jo, let me start with you. Kamala, Hillary, Joe steps down. What do you think of my possible scenario, nightmare scenario?
I feel my dinner coming up. It's like coming up right now, Grant.
Right.
Okay, the whole prospect of Hillary, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you just, because that came in a little bit from left field. But the Kamala thing, okay, so we all saw this coming a little bit because she's been a giant disaster. And so I can see where they'd want to put her on the Supreme Court, because it's like, where are we going to put her? Although, there are a lot of other choices. Although he has pigeonholed himself into this black female thing, which, this whole thing is a distraction from all of the failures that he's had over the past year, right? I mean, because this has come as such a surprise. And I don't think that this Supreme Court justice, he didn't make the announcement himself. They sort of forced him into this, too. So that's another thing that we're all a little bit like, this is very interesting timing. Yeah.
He was very upset, is what we're being told, that he didn't get to make the announcement, which,
right.
again, who's calling the shots here? Let me play this clip for you, Miriam. This is Jen Psaki on Kamala Harris. All right, Peter Doocy, her nemesis over there, the White House press corps, asked the question about the possibility of Kamala. Listen.
Does President Biden plan to honor his pledge to nominate a black woman to the court?
Well, I've commented on this previously. The president has stated and reiterated his commitment to nominating a black woman to the Supreme Court, and certainly stands by that.
All right, that wasn't the soundbite about Kamala. I'll play that next. But Miriam, we might as well talk about this. You totally do pigeonhole. Forget about we'll nominate whoever the best Supreme Court justice may be. We're just going to make sure we nominate a black woman who may be the best Supreme Court pick. But why would you, as Amy Jo said, pigeonhole yourself like that?
Well, exactly. And so it's amazing that just as the Supreme Court announces that they're going to be hearing an affirmative action case, they are potentially going to they're going to have a new Supreme Court justice via affirmative action. And it's essentially discriminating against 94% of the country. So the fact that this is happening at the highest court level is kind of amazing. And I would think that anybody on the short list should be insulted that they're literally being judged based on the shape and shade of their reproductive organs. That's their first qualifier. I would be mortified if that's how I knew I was being selected. But this is what the left wants. They want constant focus on race, and that's it.
And that is the problem with affirmative action, is it takes away from the people that actually earn their way to the position, or they say, no, you just get it because you happen to be a black woman. Let me play this soundbite again about her ignoring this question about Kamala being the nominee here.
Is there any scenario in which the president would select his Vice President Kamala Harris for the Supreme Court?
Again, I'm not going to speak to any considerations, preparations, lists, and as we've stated earlier, and you heard the president say, there's a long history of Supreme Court justices determining when they may retire, if they retire, and announcing that.
All right, that wasn't Peter Ducey either, but either way, she dodges the question, Amy Jo.
She's very good at dancing. She is very good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking
She's
to
circling back.
Affirmative. Yeah. Yeah, totally circling back. Yeah. But she's very good at dancing. And it's going to be very interesting to see how all this pans out. I just hope that if it's somebody that's super radical, that person is treated as lovely as Kavanaugh was.
Yeah. Well, I doubt they'll be treated anything like that, because it's just not how Democrats treat fellow Democrats. That's for sure. Amy Jo Clark, thank you. Miriam Weaver, thank you both. It's always great to see you both. And folks, don't count my scenario out here, okay? Don't count it out. Kamala goes on. Hillary comes in. Joe Biden steps down. Out of left field, far-fetched, you call it whatever you want to call it. I promise you they're thinking about it right now.